Hey, this is Robert Keeley and Creighton Hale at Keeley Electronics, and we're going to do some frequency analysis of the Bassist compressor. Right here we have the Keeley compressor, the Bassist, connected to an adjuvant generator and an adjuvant oscilloscope. Right now we're looking at a sweep function that goes from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and we have a sweep time now of a couple seconds, I think. The sweep time, 2 seconds. We'll run this up to 10 seconds and give us a longer look at that. We're putting in a voltage of 100 millivolts peak to peak. We can show you that here. I'll stop the sweep. Right now we have kilohertz, amplitude 100 millivolts. There we go. And this thing has some digital filtering, but it's very, very close to the 100 millivolts peak to peak coming in. It might be a little shy of it, just because it's kind of hard to adjust that potentiometer perfectly. I'll try to adjust it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what's better, but it's pretty close. If we take the frequency generator down to 100 hertz, we show that it's still pretty linear. It shows 105 millivolts. See, I didn't really want to adjust that too much. And if we go down to lower frequencies, we're at 40 hertz there. We have 98, 99 millivolts peak to peak according to the oscilloscope. If we go down to 31, like a low B on a bass guitar, we get the first indication that the frequency response is lowering off on the low end. If we go down to 20 hertz, it shows 90, 92, 90 millivolts peak to peak, which, if I'm not mistaken, is just like 1 dB, maybe 1.5. If I go down, let me turn the digital filtering off here. Digital filtering off, yeah. And, okay, good. So, we go down to 10 hertz. There, we get about 70%. So at 10 hertz, in fact, at 11 hertz, we're at about 0.7. 0.7 is about 3 dB down. So at about 10 or 11 hertz, it's 3 dB down. If we look back here at 31 hertz, we're at something that's probably not perceptible. Maybe half a dB, 1 dB, something like that. Sometimes it looks like it's less. Okay, so the high-end response. By the way, this is with the compression off, threshold up, and gain set to match. So let's go ahead and put on the sweep again. Well, let's run it up first here. There's 100 hertz. There's 1 kilohertz. Shows about 100 millivolts output, 102, 105. If I go up to 5 kilohertz and 6 kilohertz where some speakers start to roll off. If I go up to 8 kilohertz, it's still pretty uniform. If I go up to 20 kilohertz, my scope is still measuring about 100, 204, just like it was down in the lower frequencies. In fact, we can take it up to 35 kilohertz. It seems to be flat way up there. There's not much filtering that we use on this compressor because we want to maintain a lot of high frequency response and make it sound as good as possible, and it's well above hearing. So we can set this thing to sweep. And we're looking at a 10-second sweep over the frequency range 20 to 20 kilohertz. And this thing does a pretty good job of tracking, and you can see it's pretty consistent across the entire frequency range. The measurement of the voltage is a little bit slow, so it can be kind of misleading. Now let's do another test here. I can quicken this up. And we'll show a 1-second burst over the frequency range. If we look at the signal with the compressor on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the threshold now so that it triggers at 100 millivolts. And we'll see that you might see the indicator light turn red. Okay, I've got it turned red, and let's just see where that is. It's about at the halfway point, so about right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put the compression on about 4 to 1. Something like that. Okay, so we are clearly compressing, because if I turn up the amplitude here, it's not going up the same amount. 400 millivolts, 140 out. So it's clearly being a compressor. And then we look at the frequency response. Take it down to 100 hertz. We still have pretty consistent output. It says 110 millivolts there. We go down to 40, a low E string, 102 millivolts for a 100 millivolt input, and 30 hertz for a low B. In fact, we can go down to 10 hertz, and it drops to 0.707, or pretty close to that, 3 dB down at 10 hertz. If we go up to 20 kilohertz, with the compressor compressing, we have 103 millivolts. That's pretty consistent throughout the whole range. 104 millivolts. So there you have it. There's the Keeley compressor over a broad range of frequencies and at least 2 different settings, and the output seems to be pretty consistent. I've got this hooked up for a 100 kilo ohm load. I have the Agilent 33220A for the generator and the DSO 1012A for the oscilloscope. There you go. Thanks.